Hi, this is Jared Polak, and a friend recently asked me for some blog articles regarding what it's like to be a real dad. And I thought, man, it'd be awesome for me to not only write some blog articles, but actually podcast a little bit about this for everyone listening to my podcast, my personal podcast. And this is basically a topic that's near and dear to my heart because it's about being a better father, but also being real and raw about some of the challenges we face as dads. And so the podcast today is really going to be titled 5 Ways to Free Up Time to Spend with Your Kids. Now, I'm passionate about freeing up time in terms of allowing that to give us a better life. And the reality is, as dads, we're super busy. There's a lot going on at work. We have just multiple things that occupy our time. And so here's 5 things that I have chosen to do with my family. And I'm not always the perfect example of in many ways, but I think in terms of freeing up time and the way I value my time, I think I can be a pretty good example. So I wanted to share that with you all. And some of these are going to be really going to hit you pretty hard because they might be difficult. But the reality is, if we have to choose between these things and our children should come first all the time. So number 1, in order to free up time to spend time with kids, turn off the TV. Throw it away if you have to. Literally, the amount of wasted time or time away from kids because of TV is unbelievable. And so I just encourage you guys, if you spend, an hour a day or 2 hours a day or 30 minutes a day and you feel like with watching TV and you feel like you don't have enough time for your kids, well, get rid of that TV. Now, I think as kids get older, maybe there's some things you could watch together that could be beneficial, but the reality is, spending one-on-one time with your kids is going to beat TV every day of the week. I guarantee, 20 years from now, you're not going to look back and say, I wish I would have seen that ball game on TV, or wish I would have watched that program. But I know many people regret the lack of time they've spent with their children. So that's number 1. Number 2, get up earlier or go to bed earlier, for example. And essentially, I'm not always a proponent of sleeping less, but I realized for a while I was sleeping 8 hours a night because I'm really big on health, and I think sleep is a huge part of health. But I realized that I could actually go from 8 hours of sleep to 7 hours of sleep and actually feel better, and that gave me an extra hour to devote to other things, which freed up more time to spend with my kids. Now, I know some of you that are listening to this might already be sleep deprived, and so I never recommend sleep deprivation because you actually are going to be less productive. But hey, if you're sleeping 8, 9 hours a night, maybe cut that back a little bit. That worked for me. That's number 2. Number 3, if it's possible, and I know that I'm fortunate to be able to do this to a certain degree, and some of you maybe can't fully, but if possible, pay others to do work for you at home. Listen, if you enjoy or love mowing your yard, that's great, but that can take away from time with your kids. Outsource that. Outsource different activities, fixing things around the house. Now, certainly it's good to teach your kids to be able to be productive and take care of things, but if you have a lot of extra work, hey, pay someone to do that and spend time with your kids instead. Number 4, productivity at work. Some of us have control over our schedule more than others that do. So the reality is, hey, if we can be super productive at work, go ahead and make it happen, and that way we can free up time and get home sooner. 5th and last but not least is saying no to others outside of the family that ask for your time. Some of us are people pleasers, so I just encourage you, if other people are asking for your time, sometimes you have to say no to things that are good so you can say yes to the best thing, which are our kids. And I've had to do this multiple times. So those are just 5 things that I've learned that have really helped me out, and I encourage you to go out and take actions on freeing up time so you can spend more time with your kids. Go out and be an awesome dad.